Okay, so let's look at direct speech. So, words spoken by people, dialogue, direct speech, what people say in the story. So we can either use these kind of quotation marks or these kind. A single or a double or a single. 2 lines or a single. Now, depends on the writer. Either one of those works, but it's about being consistent. When you write, you can use whichever one you want, but you have to stick to it. You have to be consistent. When I was writing, or when I write, I use the double for using quotation marks, just exactly like this. Hello, he said. How are you, she asked. Fine. But also remember, use a new line for each new speaker. You don't want them continuing like this. It has to be dialogue like this. Hello, hello, like this. Like that. List them. One line. Hello, he said. How are you, she asked. I am fine, he replied. Where are you going today, she said. I'm not so sure, he replied. Different line for each speaker. Don't continue writing. Hello, he said. How are you today? She said this and he said that. He said this. He said this. He said that. No. A new line for each new speaker. And when you do use a dialogue, anything else, the descriptions, the prose, the showing, not the telling, the showing, can go after. You could put the showing at the front, but it does kind of muddle things up. So it's easier to start the new line with a dialogue and then add the description, add the showing at the end afterwards. She said as she looked at her wristwatch. Or, hello, he said, whilst he looked down at the clock and realised the time. Looked at the clock, he noticed he was late. Very good. Noticed the clock, he had to be there in 10 minutes. He looked at the clock, he had to be here 10 minutes ago. How are you, she asked, thinking about what he was doing. Yes, but the point is, a new line for a new speaker. Hello, how are you? Hello, he said. How are you? She asked. I am fine, thank you, he said. That is good to hear. I'm glad you are fine. Yes, thank you for the concern, he said. How cool is that? So, a new line for a new speaker. And be consistent. No matter which one you use for the dialogue, it has to be consistently applied throughout. And it's worth also understanding that you end the dialogue on a comma, unless you use things like exclamation marks, question marks, or anything else of the sort. If you add a full stop, that's also the end of the sentence here. So then afterwards it's capitalised, she said. How cool is that, Language Explorers? So be consistent, choose which one, and use new lines. How cool is that, Language Explorers? Let's keep exploring.